Well, he's not above giving lessons, not him. I heard him say so. Well, I ain't come here to ask for any compliment. And if my money's not good enough, I can go elsewhere.
Good enough for what?
Good enough for you. Now you know, don't you? I've come to have lessons, I have, and to pay for them too, make no mistake.
What do you expect me to say?
Well, if you was a gentleman, you might ask me to sit down, I think. Don't I tell you I'm bringing you business?
Well, Pickering, shall we ask this baggage to sit down, or shall we just throw her out of the window?
Oh, I won't be caught a baggage, not when I've offered to pay like any lady.
But what is it that you want?
I want to be a lady in a flower shop, instead of selling flowers on the corner of Tottenham Court Road. They won't take me unless I can talk more genteel. He said he could teach me. Well, here I am, ready to pay, not asking any favour. And he treats me as if I was dirt. I know what lessons cost and I'm ready to pay.
How much?
Now you're talking. I thought you'd come off it when you saw a chance of getting back a bit of what you chucked to me last night. You'd had a drop in, hadn't you?
Sit down.
Well, you've got to make a compliment out of it.
Sit down!
What is your name?
Eliza. Doolittle.
Won't you sit down, Miss Doolittle?
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Pickering, recording now. Well then, how much do you propose to pay me for the lessons?
I know what's right. A lady friend of mine gets French lessons for 18 pence an hour from a real French gentleman. Well, you wouldn't have the face to ask me the same for teaching me my own language as you would for French. So, I won't give more than a shilling. Take it or leave it.
You know, Pickering, if you consider a shilling not as a simple shilling, but rather a percentage of the girl's income, why, I think it translates as full equivalent to 60 or 70 pounds from a millionaire. It's the biggest offer I've ever had.
60 pounds? What are you talking about, 60 pounds?
Hold your tongue!
Cry, silly girl, sit down. Nobody's going to touch your money.
Somebody's going to touch you with a broomstick if you don't stop all that sniveling! Sit down!
One would think he was my father.
If I shall decide to teach you, I'll be worse than two fathers to you. Oh, here.
What's this for?
To wipe your eyes. To wipe any part of your face that might feel moist. Remember that is your handkerchief, and that is your sleeve. Don't mistake one for the other if you wish to be a lady in a shop.
Higgins, I'm interested. What about your boast that you could pass her off as a duchess at the embassy ball? I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you can make that good. I'll bet you all of the expenses of the experiment you can't do it. And I'll even pay for the lessons.
Oh, you're real good. Thank you, Captain.
It's almost irresistible. She's so deliciously low. She's so horribly dirty.
Oh, I ain't dirty. You washed me face and hands. I thought, oh, come on, I did.
I'll take it. I'll make a duchess out of this draggle-tailed gutter snipe.
Ow!
I'll start right now, this moment. Now, Mrs. Pierce, take her away and clean her. Sandpaper it if it won't come off any other way. Is there a good fire in the kitchen?
Well, yes,
Well, take off all her clothes and burn them. And just ring up and order up some new ones. And wrap her in brown paper till they come.
Oh, you're no gentleman. You're not to talk of such things. I'm a good girl, I am, and I know what the likes of you are, I do.
We'll have none of your slum prudery here, young woman. You've got to learn to behave like a duchess. Take her away, Mrs. Pierce, and wallop her if she gives you any trouble.
Oh, call the police, I will!
I've got no place to put her.
Put her in the dustbin.
Ow!
Oh, come now, Higgins, be reasonable.
You must be reasonable, Mr. Higgins, really you must. You can't walk over everybody like this.
I walk over everybody? Oh, my dear Mrs. Pierce, my dear Pickering, I never had the slightest intention of walking over anybody. All I propose is that we be kind to this poor girl. If I didn't express myself clearly, why, it was only because I I didn't wish to hurt her delicacy. Or yours.
Sir, you can't take up a girl like that as if you were picking up a pebble on the beach.
Why not?
Why not? Well, you don't know anything about her. What about her parents? She may be married.
Gone.
Well, there, as she most properly says, gone.
Who'd marry me?
By George, Eliza, the streets will be strewn with the bodies of men, shooting themselves for your sake before I've done with you.
I'm going away. He's off his chub, he is. I don't want no balmy stitching me.
Oh, I'm mad, am I? Mrs. Pierce, you needn't order up any new clothes. Just throw her out.
Stop, Mr. Higgins. I won't allow it. Go home to your parents, girl.
I ain't got no parents.
There, as you see, she ain't got no parents. I don't see what all the fuss is about. She doesn't belong to anybody. She's no use to anybody but me. Just take her along upstairs.
But what's to become of her? Is she to be paid anything? Do be reasonable, Mr. Higgins.
What on earth would she want with money? She'll have her food, she'll have her clothes. She'll only drink if you give her money.
Oh, you are rude! It's a lie! Nobody's ever seen the sign of liquor on me! Oh, sir, you're a gentleman. Don't let him speak to me like that.
Does it occur to you, Higgins, that the girl has some feelings?
No, I don't think so. Oh, dear, no. No feelings we need bother with, have you, Eliza?
Mr. Higgins, I must know on what terms the girl is to be here. What's to become of her when you've finished your teachings? You must look ahead a little, sir.
Well, what's to become of her if I leave her in the gutter? Answer me that, Mrs. Pierce.
That's her own business, not yours, Mr. Higgins.
Well, then, after I'm done teaching her, I'll throw her back in the gutter again. And then it'll be her own business again. That's all right, right?
Oh, you've no feeling art in you. You don't care for nothing but yourself. I've had enough of this. I'm going.
Eliza, have some chocolates.
How do I know what might be in them? I've heard of girls being drugged by the likes of you.
A pledge of good faith, Eliza. I shall eat one half. And you shall eat the other.
Ah.
You'll have boxes of them, barrels of them. You'll live off them every day.
I want to bite it and I'm too light like to take it out of my mouth.
Think of it, Eliza. Think of chocolates and taxis and gold and diamonds.
No! I don't want no gold and no diamonds. I'm a good guy.
Excuse me, Higgins, but I really must interfere. Mrs. Pierce is quite right. If this girl is to put herself into your hands for 6 months for an experiment in teaching, she must understand thoroughly what she's doing.
All right. Eliza, you are to live here for the next 6 months, learning to speak beautifully like a lady in a florist's shop. If you do everything you are told, you shall sleep in a proper bedroom, and you shall have lots to eat, and you'll have money to buy chocolates and take rides in taxis. But if you're naughty and idle, well, then you'll sleep in the back kitchen amongst the black beetles, and you'll be walloped by Mrs. Pierce with a broomstick. And at the end of 6 months, you shall go to Buckingham Palace in a carriage, beautifully dressed. And if the king finds out that you're not a lady, well, then the police will take you to the Tower of London, where your head will be chopped off, as a warning sign to other presumptuous flower girls. But if you're not found out, well, then you shall receive a present of 7 6 to start a life with, as a lady in a shop. And if you refuse this offer, you will be the most wicked, ungrateful girl, and the angels shall weep for you. Satisfied, Pickering? Could I put it in more plainly or fairly, Mrs. Pierce?
Come with me, Eliza.
Yes, bundle her off to the bathroom, Mrs. Pierce.
You're great bully.